Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and stay connected, because the story you're about to hear might change the way you look at the coins in your pocket forever. Imagine holding a small, ordinary-looking coin in your hand. It's worn slightly at the edges. Maybe it's been sitting in a drawer for years, or passed from one person to another without a second thought. But what if I told you that this very coin, something most people ignore, could carry a story of history, rarity, and hidden value that few truly understand? Today, we're talking about the 5 cents coin from 2002, minted in South Africa. At first glance, it doesn't seem like much. It's small, modest, and often overlooked. Many people wouldn't even bend down to pick it up if they saw it on the ground. But for those who know what to look for, this coin can be far more than just loose change. Now, let's take a closer look. The 5 cents coin from 2002 belongs to a period when South Africa was continuing to shape its modern identity after major political and economic transitions. Coins from this era were produced in large numbers, but not all of them are equal. Some carry subtle differences, small variations, and unique characteristics that make them stand out to collectors. You see, the real value of a coin is not just in its metal or its face value. It lies in its story, its condition, and sometimes even in tiny errors that most people would never notice. A slight misprint, an unusual shine, a difference in alignment. These are the details that turn an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. Think about the journey this coin might have taken. It could have been used in markets, handed over in daily transactions, carried in pockets through years of change. It might have witnessed moments in people's lives that we can only imagine. And over time, as coins get lost, damaged, or removed from circulation, the number of well-preserved examples becomes smaller and smaller. This is where collectors step in. For many men, especially those who appreciate history, precision, and the thrill of discovery, coin collecting is more than just a hobby. It's a pursuit of hidden treasures. It's about knowledge, patience, and the excitement of finding something rare where others see nothing. Now, let's talk about condition. A coin in perfect or near-perfect condition is always more valuable than one that's been heavily used. Collectors look for sharp details, clear markings, and minimal wear. Even the smallest scratch or discoloration can affect value. That's why some of these coins, if preserved well, can command surprising attention. But condition alone isn't everything. Rarity plays a powerful role. If a specific batch of coins had a limited release, or if certain pieces were produced with slight variations, those become highly desirable. And sometimes, the rarity isn't widely known. It takes years of experience and careful observation to identify these special coins. Now imagine someone going through an old collection or a forgotten box of coins and suddenly noticing something different about a 2002 5 cents piece. Maybe the design looks slightly off, or the surface has a unique finish. That moment of realization that you might be holding something rare is what drives collectors forward. Yet there's also an emotional side to this. Coins connect us to the past. They remind us of different times, different economies, and different stories. For many older collectors, coins like these bring back memories. They remember when these coins were in everyday use, when they had real purchasing power, when life moved at a different pace. And that emotional connection often increases the desire to collect and preserve. It's not just about money, it's about legacy. It's about holding on to something tangible that represents a piece of history. But here's where things get truly interesting. Not every valuable coin looks valuable. In fact, some of the most sought-after coins are the ones that appear completely ordinary to the untrained eye. That's why knowledge is so important. Knowing what to look for can turn a simple find into a life-changing discovery. People often underestimate what they already have. They overlook coins sitting in jars, drawers, or old wallets. They assume that if something looks common, it must be worthless. But the truth is, value is often hidden beneath the surface. So, if you ever come across a 5 cents coin from 2002, don't dismiss it too quickly. Take a closer look. Examine the details. Consider its condition. Think about its journey. Because sometimes, the smallest objects carry the biggest surprises. And for those who are serious about collecting, this is where the real excitement begins. The hunt, the research, the careful examination, it all builds up to that one moment when you realize you've found something special. Now, let's bring everything together. This coin, the South African 5 cents from 2002, may look simple, but under the right circumstances, depending on its condition, rarity, and unique characteristics, it can become highly desirable among collectors. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join our community so you never miss these rare discoveries that could change your collection and your life. Today, I want to take you on a journey into the fascinating world of coins, a world where history, craftsmanship, and the thrill of the hunt collide. We're going to focus on a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance, but hides a story, a history, and a value that could leave you stunned. It's the 1997 South African 5-cent coin. Now, before you dismiss it as just another piece of change, stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal could completely change how you look at coins sitting quietly in your drawer. South Africa in the 1990s was a country undergoing tremendous change. The apartheid era had ended, and the nation was embracing a new dawn. Every coin minted in this period carries a piece of that history. The 5-cent coin, while small, tells a story of a country redefining itself, its economy, and its symbols. In fact, coins are more than money. They are a snapshot of a nation's identity at a particular moment in time. What makes this particular coin so captivating starts with its design. The obverse side, featuring the iconic South African coat of arms, is a symbol of unity and resilience. Look closely, and you can appreciate the fine detailing. The intricate lines, the crisp lettering, the balance of symbols that tell a story of a country's strength and hope. It's craftsmanship that goes unnoticed by most, but is cherished by collectors who know what to look for. Flip the coin, and you'll see the reverse. A springbok, South Africa's national animal, captured mid-leap, representing speed, agility, and grace. It's more than an image. It's a representation of the nation's spirit. Every line in that springbok's form is designed to invoke admiration. And for those who study coins seriously, such detail can mean the difference between a common collectible and a rare gem. Now, you might be wondering, why would a 5-cent coin, a denomination most of us toss aside or forget in our wallets, hold any real value today? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and the unique quirks that make collectors sit up and pay attention. Coins from 1997 are already over 25 years old, and over time, fewer coins survive in pristine condition. Add to that any small minting errors, variations in the metal, or unusual wear patterns, and suddenly you have a coin that's far more than its face value. Collectors over the decades have discovered that the 1997 South African 5-cent coin isn't just a simple piece of metal. It can serve as a portal into history and a potential financial treasure. Coins like these are part of a story that intertwines economics, history, and human curiosity. And when you handle one, you're holding a piece of that story in your hand. There's a thrill in that is hard to describe but impossible to ignore that if you're someone who enjoys history, nostalgia, or simply the joy of discovery, this coin speaks to you. Imagine unearthing something small, yet historically significant, something that carries a story from the late 20th century South Africa, and realizing that it's not only rare, but potentially highly valuable. It's the kind of find that makes every collector's heart beat a little faster. Now, let's talk about value, not just the sentimental kind, but the kind that can make a serious difference. While most coins from that era might sit in collections quietly, untouched, this particular coin has been the subject of increasing attention among collectors worldwide. Why? Because in the right condition, with the right rarity, and with the provenance to back it up, this coin has the potential to reach numbers that sound almost unbelievable. We're not talking hundreds, we're talking in the millions. Collectors are increasingly aware that coins like this are finite. The more time passes, the fewer high-quality specimens remain, and the market responds accordingly. It's a classic case of supply and demand amplified by history and scarcity. Coins from significant years or with unique characteristics don't just hold value. They appreciate in ways most other collectibles cannot. And this coin, in particular, has quietly become a must-have for those who know the market, for those who understand that patience, knowledge, and timing can transform a humble piece of metal into a fortune. Imagine walking into a room filled with other collectors, casually mentioning you have a 1997 South African 5-cent coin in pristine condition, and watching the eyes light up. The excitement, the recognition, the subtle nods of respect, it's all part of being in the collector's world. And here's the kicker. Not everyone knows about it yet. That's the beauty of rare coins. You're often ahead of the curve, and with that advantage comes opportunity. As with any collectible, condition is everything. A coin that has circulated heavily may hold sentimental value, but its market value diminishes. A coin that has been carefully preserved, free from scratches or discoloration, can attract serious attention. Some collectors even go so far as to seek out coins with slight minting anomalies or subtle differences, because those features can elevate a coin's rarity to almost legendary status. The 1997 South African 5-cent coin has a handful of these quirks, which adds layers to its desirability. For anyone in the 55 to 65 age bracket, there's something deeply satisfying about recognizing the potential in what others might overlook. You've lived through decades, witnessed history firsthand, and you understand the concept of lasting value. Coins like this one allow you to combine the thrill of discovery with your appreciation for history, craftsmanship, and financial foresight. It's a tangible connection to a past era and a tangible asset that could secure your collection or even your legacy. And here's the part that might make you sit up straight. In today's market, a pristine 1997 South African 5-cent coin has been estimated to reach values as high as $6.9 million in the right conditions. Yes, you heard that correctly. Millions for a coin that once sat quietly in someone's pocket or drawer. It's a reminder that treasures are often hidden in the most unexpected places, and that sometimes the smallest objects hold the largest surprises. So, as you think about your own collections, or even the coins lying around at home, remember this. History, rarity, and preservation can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. Coins are more than metal. They are stories, legacies, and sometimes life-changing assets. And the 1997 South African 5-cent coin is a perfect example of that principle in action. That if you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden treasures of numismatics, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next story of discovery. Who knows what other seemingly simple objects are sitting quietly around you, waiting to reveal their secret worth. Before we dive in, take a moment to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss out on stories like this, the kind that could change the way you see the coins hiding in your collection or even in your drawer right now. Now, if you're someone who spent years collecting, or maybe you just like to know the history behind something that fits right in the palm of your hand, then you're going to want to stay with me for this one. Today, I want to talk about a coin that at first glance might seem ordinary. In fact, many people walk past it in their change, barely noticing it, unaware that it carries a story that reaches back decades. This isn't just a coin. It's a small piece of history, a symbol of a country, and, as you'll see, potentially a ticket to a life-changing value. But we're talking about the 5-cent coin from South Africa, minted in 1993. Now, some of you may already be thinking, 5 cents? That's barely enough for a cup of coffee. And you'd be right, at face value. But what most people overlook is the story behind the coin, the era it represents, and the scarcity that makes it so sought after by collectors around the world. Let me set the scene for you. It's the early 1990s in South Africa, a time of incredible change and transformation. The country was on the verge of a monumental shift, and every coin minted during this period carried a subtle reminder of a nation in transition. Every detail, every tiny engraving, every edge on the coin tells a story, And this one, minted in 1993, is no exception. What makes this coin fascinating isn't just the year or the material it's made of, it's the rarity. Coins like this one, when preserved in mint condition, are few and far between. Collectors often search for years to find coins like this, and when they do, they're willing to pay a premium that most of us would never imagine. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. It's just a coin. How much could it really be worth? That's exactly what makes this story so compelling. Coins that seem insignificant can, in the right hands, turn into treasures. And the thrill of discovering that treasure is something that speaks to every collector, whether you've been doing it for decades or you're just starting. The design itself is deceptively simple. It carries the traditional motifs of South Africa, symbols that represent unity, resilience, and heritage. The craftsmanship might seem modest, but every detail was carefully considered by the minting authorities. And over time, as the coin aged, the number of pristine examples dwindled, creating an environment where rarity and condition combine to create extraordinary value. Collectors around the world, especially those who specialize in African coinage, recognize this. They look for coins with sharp edges, clean faces, and no signs of wear. If you have one of these coins tucked away in your collection, you might already have something more valuable than you realize. And it's not just about money. It's about holding a piece of history, a connection to a moment in time that can never be replicated. Now, let's talk about the market for a moment. Coins like this don't just sit in drawers. Serious collectors scour auctions, estate sales, and private collections to find these gems. When one appears in the right condition, it creates a bidding frenzy. People who've been in the business for decades will tell you that spotting a rare coin like this is like spotting a diamond in a haystack. A small, almost invisible treasure that can completely change the story of a collection. And here's where it gets really interesting. Unlike common coins, which might sit on a shelf for years, a rare 5-cent coin from 1993 can draw attention from buyers all over the world. From experienced numismatists to passionate hobbyists, the demand for coins with historical significance and scarcity can push prices to levels most people wouldn't believe. Now, I want you to imagine something. Imagine you're going through your old collection, or maybe you stumble upon an old jar of coins in your attic. Most of them might be everyday coins, but then you notice this small 5-cent coin, perfectly preserved. The edges are sharp, the face is clean, and it shines with a subtle luster that tells you it's been taken care of over the years. That small coin suddenly becomes more than just currency. It becomes an opportunity. Over time, stories like these have appeared in coin collecting circles and in auctions around the world. People have found coins they thought were ordinary, only to discover that their value was far beyond what they imagined. And the best part? The thrill of discovery, the knowledge that what you hold in your hand is rare, that it connects you to a moment in history, is priceless. If you're someone who appreciates history, craftsmanship, and the excitement of uncovering hidden treasures, then this coin is a perfect example of why collecting is so compelling. Every scratch-free, perfectly preserved piece carries with it not just a financial value, but a narrative, a piece of South Africa's story, and a tangible connection to the past. So, what about the value? If you've been with me this far, you know it's coming. Here's the moment everyone's waiting for. A 5-cent coin from South Africa, minted in 1993, in pristine condition, can fetch an astonishing amount in the right market. Collectors and enthusiasts have been willing to pay upwards of $4 million for coins of this rarity, especially those in perfect condition. That's right, for a million. From something that at first glance seems like a small, everyday coin to a piece worth millions, it's incredible to think that such a small, seemingly insignificant object could carry such tremendous value. But that's the magic of numismatics, the world of coin collecting. History, rarity, and preservation all collide to create opportunities that are almost unimaginable. And if you're holding one of these coins, or even thinking about starting a collection, The potential is right there in your hands.so. Take a moment to look around. Check your collection, check your drawers, maybe even that old coin jar you've forgotten about. History has a way of hiding in plain sight, and sometimes a small coin can change everything. Remember to subscribe and stay tuned for more stories like this. Coins, collectibles, and treasures that can surprise even the most seasoned collectors. Who knows? Your next discovery might just be the one worth millions.